Welcome everyone, and we'll begin. Today begins each week of practice, and so we're going to follow a certain template of beginning to sit for about 15 minutes just to settle and to arrive. Then we're going to chant the body parts 5 times forwards, 5 times backwards, 5 times forward and backwards. Then we'll particularly work with the group of parts that we're going to work on for this week, guided meditation. And we'll have some time for some breakout rooms to discuss how the practice is going, and perhaps a little bio break, and then come back to the large group for some discussion, questions. People can share about how the practice is going. So for now, just letting yourself arrive, finding a position that you can be comfortable and awake. And taking a few moments to just check in, to acknowledge how you're feeling in your body, your mind, your heart. As we go into some silence, just to connect with our own body and mind and acknowledging what's present. As we enter into the silence. So thank you, and I'm going to share the screen and put on the body parts, and we'll be chanting this whole list 5 times forwards, 5 times backwards, and 5 times forward and backwards. And it's probably best to keep it muted, so you'll just hear my voice, because if we all do it at the same time, Zoom has not yet figured out the technology to do things together. Just fixing this up. Okay, so just to let you know that the top part obviously is in English, and the bottom is in Pali, which is the language of the early Buddhists, and the end I'll also recite it just one time in Pali in the forward position, just so you have a sense of what Pali language sounds like chanting these body parts. But it's much more powerful to say them in our language that we generally speak in, though I know some of you actually, I know I hear from out of the country, I know in China, so if you have these words translated into Mandarin, you're welcome to chant them in your own language as well. But anyways, I'm going to recite, so you're welcome to recite in whatever language works for you. And we're going to do 5 times forwards, 5 times backwards, 5 times forward and backwards. And part of this practice is to help, we want to know it verbally, and then that supports so that we can know it mentally. And then we begin to go into the body with the color, the shape, the direction, the location, what it's bordered by, its definition, its functions of each of the parts. So we're going to go in this very particular way. This is called the sevenfold skill in learning. And just to say again that this 32 parts of the body is a very ancient Buddhist practice. It's found in the first foundation of mindfulness in the section of the body, the foundation of the body, where there's 6 very distinct practices. Many of us are very familiar with the first 3 of the posture, mindfulness of breathing, bringing mindfulness into our activities of day-to-day life. And then there's the 4th one is of the 32 parts of the body, meditation. The 5th is the 4 primary elements of solids, liquids, motion, and temperature. And the 6th practice is a very powerful practice on the mindfulness of death, going through different stages, 9 different stages of decomposition from the first day a body dies until gradually it turns into dust. These are the practices found in the Satipatthana Sutta, in 4 foundations of mindfulness, and particularly this section of the mindfulness of the body. So we'll begin, and you're welcome to chant along with me as well, and you'll be muted, and you'll hear my voice. Head hair, body hair, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinews, bones, bone marrow, kidneys, heart, liver, diaphragm, spleen, lungs, large intestine, small intestine, stomach, feces, brain, bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat, tears, grease, saliva, mucus, oil of the joints, urine, head hair, body hair, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinews, bones, bone marrow, kidneys, heart, liver, diaphragm, spleen, lungs, large intestine, small intestine, stomach, feces, brain, bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat, tears, grease, saliva, mucus, oil of the joints, urine, head hair, body hair, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinews, bones, bone marrow, kidneys, heart, liver, diaphragm, spleen, lungs, large intestine, small intestine, stomach, feces, brain, bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat, tears, grease, saliva, mucus, oil of the joints, urine. Head hair, body hair, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinews, bones, bone marrow, kidneys, heart, liver, diaphragm, spleen, lungs, large intestine, small intestine, stomach, feces, brain, bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat, tears, grease, saliva, mucus, oil of the joints, urine, head, hair, body hair, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinews, bones, bone marrow, kidneys, heart, liver, diaphragm, spleen, lungs, large intestine, small intestine, stomach, feces, brain, bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat, tears, grease, saliva, mucus, oil of the joints, urine. Urine, oil of the joints, mucus, saliva, grease, tears, fat, sweat, blood, pus, phlegm, bile, brain, feces, stomach, small intestines, large intestines, lungs, spleen, diaphragm, liver, heart, kidneys, bone marrow, bones, sinews, flesh, skin, teeth, nails, body hair, head hair. Urine, oil of the joints, mucus, saliva, grease, tears, fat, sweat, blood, pus, phlegm, bile, brain, feces, stomach, small intestines, large intestines, lungs, spleen, diaphragm, liver, heart, kidneys, bone marrow, bones, sinews, flesh, skin, teeth, nails, body hair, head hair. Urine, oil of the joints, mucus, saliva, grease, tears, fat, sweat, blood, pus, phlegm, bile, brain, feces, stomach, small intestines, large intestines, lungs, spleen, diaphragm, liver, heart, kidneys, bone marrow, bones, sinews, flesh, skin, teeth, nails, body hair, head hair. Urine, oil of the joints, mucus, saliva, grease, tears, fat, sweat, blood, pus, phlegm, bile, brain, feces, stomach, small intestines, large intestines, lungs, spleen, diaphragm, liver, heart, kidneys, bone marrow, bones, sinews, flesh, skin, teeth, nails, body hair, head hair. Urine, oil of the joints, mucus, saliva, grease, tears, fat, sweat, blood, pus, phlegm, bile, brain, feces, stomach, small intestines, large intestines, lungs, spleen, diaphragm, liver, heart, kidneys, bone marrow, bones, sinews, flesh, skin, teeth, nails, body hair, head hair. Head hair, body hair, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinews, bones, bone marrow, kidneys, heart, liver, diaphragm, spleen, lungs, large intestine, small intestine, stomach, feces, brain, bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat, tears, grease, saliva, mucus, oil of the joints, urine. Urine, oil of the joints, mucus, saliva, grease, tears, fat, sweat, blood, pus, phlegm, bile, brain, feces, stomach, small intestines, large intestines, lungs, spleen, diaphragm, liver, heart, kidneys, bone marrow, bones, sinews, flesh, skin, teeth, nails, body hair, head hair. Head hair, body hair, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinews, bones, bone marrow, kidneys, heart, liver, diaphragm, spleen, lungs, large intestine, small intestine, stomach, feces, brain, bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat, tears, grease, saliva, mucus, oil of the joints, urine. Urine, oil of the joints, mucus, saliva, grease, tears, fat, sweat, blood, pus, phlegm, bile, brain, feces, stomach, small intestines, large intestines, lungs, spleen, diaphragm, liver, heart, kidneys, bone marrow, bones, sinews, flesh, skin, teeth, nails, body hair, head hair. Head hair, body hair, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinews, bones, bone marrow, kidneys, heart, liver, diaphragm, spleen, lungs, large intestine, small intestine, stomach, feces, brain, bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat, tears, grease, saliva, mucus, oil of the joints, urine. Urine, oil of the joints, mucus, saliva, grease, tears, fat, sweat, blood, pus, phlegm, bile, brain, feces, stomach, small intestines, large intestines, lungs, spleen, diaphragm, liver, heart, kidneys, bone marrow, bones, sinews, flesh, skin, teeth, nails, body hair, head hair. Head hair, body hair, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinews, bones, bone marrow, kidneys, heart, liver, diaphragm, spleen, lungs, large intestine, small intestine, stomach, feces, brain, bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat, tears, grease, saliva, mucus, oil of the joints, urine. Urine, oil of the joints, mucus, saliva, grease, tears, fat, sweat, blood, pus, phlegm, bile, brain, feces, stomach, small intestines, large intestines, lungs, spleen, diaphragm, liver, heart, kidneys, bone marrow, bones, sinews, flesh, skin, teeth, nails, body hair, head hair. Head hair, body hair, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinews, bones, bone marrow, kidneys, heart, liver, diaphragm, spleen, lungs, large intestine, small intestine, stomach, feces, brain, bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat, tears, grease, saliva, mucus, oil of the joints, urine. Urine, oil of the joints, mucus, saliva, grease, tears. Fat, sweat, blood, pus, phlegm, bile. Brain, feces, stomach, small intestines, large intestines. Lungs, spleen, diaphragm, liver, heart. Kidneys, bone marrow, bones, sinews, flesh. Skin, teeth, nails, body hair, head hair. Kethaloma nakadantataso, matam naru atiatamesum wikam, hariam yakanangalomacam piyakam papatham, antam andaguna udarian keritam matalungam, petam the mumpubo lohitam thedo medo, athu watha kelo thinganika lathika modam, modam lathika thinganika kelo watha athu, medo thesedo, Lohitam pobo thamam petam matalungam keritham udarian antaguna antam papatham piakam kalomakam yakanam hariyam wekam atimesam atinarumantham tasodanta nakalomat ketha. So just pausing for a few moments and just letting this reverberation of all of these parts just entering into your own skin and muscle and connective tissue and bone and marrow and skin and being. So this week we're going to begin the first grouping of parts: head hair, body hair, nails, teeth, skin. And we'll be working with this as a practice during the week. So I'd like to invite you to, we'll do the meditation tonight on these parts. And if you go on the 32 Parts of the Body website, 32parts.com, you'll find a guided meditation of this. And of course, this session is recorded, so you can get also this on the Inside Santa Cruz website, on the YouTube channel they have, and you can practice along with this if you like, because I really would like to invite you each day of this week, if at all possible, to work with this practice: head hair, body hair, nails, teeth, skin, knowing this internally, knowing externally. All human beings also have head hairs, body hairs, nails, teeth, and skin. And of course, Kara and I like to joke around, and the animals have their parts, from antennas to whiskers to paws, and so each of us, all sentient beings, have these parts. So we're going to begin to penetrate into this outside. When we look at each other, we see hairs of the head, hairs of the body, nails, teeth, and skin, and we're going to be penetrating in. So we'll begin with this practice of, again, we're going to recite these first 5 parts 5 times in the forward position. So we can do this together: head hair, body hair, nails, teeth, skin. 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 And so now that we've done this 5 times out loud, now silently repeating these 5 parts to yourself without chanting out loud, but just mentally reciting them 5 times inside you. Head hair, body hair, nails, teeth, skin, doing this 5 times. So now we're going to begin with these parts. And so beginning to bring your awareness to head hair. So sensing into the top of your head. And of course, sensing into the color that it is, and it may have been one color earlier in life and another color later in life. Colors can be blondish, brownish, grayish, reddish, blackish, and of course you can dye your hair a lot of different colors. So just sensing into the color that it currently is. Then into its shape. It can be curly, straight, wavy, all different types of shapes to head here. And so in the sevenfold skill of learning, there's a formula, the color, the shape, the direction. It is found above the waist. It's kind of like a map. The location of head here, it protrudes from the top of the head. The delimitation, it's bordered by the face and the back of the neck. Head here. Sensing into head here. The color, the shape, the direction, the location, the boundary. And also beginning to understand what actually is head here. And so if you look in a medical dictionary, it might say something like this. Part of it anyways. That head hairs are thread-like outgrowths from the skin of mammals. They're thin, flexible shafts of hardened cells. Hair is a protein filament that grows from deep within, right underneath the skin and the dermis. Hair can be divided into three parts. There's the bulb, the swelling at the base, the root, and then the shaft. Head hairs are constantly shedding and being replaced by new hairs, and it says that every 2 to 5 years there's a replacement of new head hair, except for maybe some people like me that are bald. An average human scalp has around 100,000 hairs. The function of head hair is to keeping the top of the head protected and for temperature regulation, also some protection from ultraviolet light. Head hair. So just sensing into the top of your head, into head hair, and just being mindful as you sense into it of whatever gets evoked. Our thoughts, our emotions, or different sensations, memories. I shared with you all last week, I believe, about a memory that had a lot of shame in it, of putting too much oil in my hair and wanting to make it look good when I was 13, and the shame that got evoked. So all the history within head hair. So there's this whole personal side as we sense into the body. Then there's the impersonal. Head hairs are just thin, thread-like outgrowths from the skin of mammals, flexible shafts of hardened cells. Head hair. Just sensing into the top of the head hair, and just being mindful of what comes up for you. And if you find that you've wandered off into something that's not related at all to the head hair, just acknowledging the wanderings. Yes, this is a training, bringing our minds back. Sensing into head hair. Whatever arises physically, mentally, emotionally, and acknowledging whatever is present. Head hair. we'll just continue on with this hair that is not only the hair of the head, but there's the hair of the body. And there's the eyebrows, the lashes, the nose hair, the facial hair, the ear hair. Underneath the arms, the back, the front of the body, fine hairs, thin hairs. Just whatever color, the body hairs, the shape. Found both above and below the waist, protruding from the skin all over the body, and of course some areas have more than others. It's bordered really by the skin. So much body hair. The groin, the legs, the arms, the toes, the back, the chest. Yes, and some areas more thinner, some more thick. Of course, some with shaving or pulling out or lasering. I mean, all these different relationships that we've had with body hair. So just being mindful of whatever gets evoked. Physically, mentally, emotionally. Again, these hairs also support us for thermal regulation, for protection from ultraviolet light exposure. It's even said that body hairs in particular serve like antennae. They provide an external sense of touch. A sensory amplifier is found in each follicle. Body hair. So whatever's getting evoked. Hair of the body. These are thread-like outgrowths from the skin of mammals. Body hair, these thin, flexible shafts of hardened cells. Body here, whatever's present, whatever's arising. gently shift from body here to nails. This pertains to fingernails and toenails. The color is mostly clear unless they're painted or yellowed in time. The shape is kind of like fish scales and found both above and below the waist and located in the fingers and toes and bordered by what's underneath the fingers and toes. So fingernails and toenails are made of a tough protein called keratin. It's kind of interesting. It's the same substance that's found in animal hooves and horns. Look at this connection that we have with animals with hooves and horns, which is made of keratin, which is the same thing that is made of our fingers and toes, keratin. Nails are horn-like structure located at the end of fingers and toes, forming flat plates. Each nail is composed of a root in the body. The root fastens the nail to the finger or the toe by fitting into the groove in the skin and is closely molded to the surface of the skin. The only living part of the nail is situated inside or underneath the skin. A fingernail or toenail takes around 6 months to grow from base to tip. Its function: these nails protect sensitive skin areas. Sometimes the nails can be useful for cutting or picking up things, and nails act as a counterforce. When the end of the finger touches an object, it enhances the sensitivity of the fingertip. Nails, fingernails, toenails. Just sensing into these areas of the body, the nails, fingers and toes. And just acknowledging as you bring awareness to these of what arises within. What's our relationship, perhaps, to these? Sometimes it can be awkward feelings, feelings of judgment that my toes or fingers don't look good, or the toes are filled with fungus, or whatever. So just being aware as you bring awareness into toes, fingernails, and toenails. Whatever's arising physically, mentally, emotionally, and acknowledge it. Maybe some stories and narratives, and there's also the impersonal, just this tough protein called keratin that are made of nails. So just sensing into fingernails and toenails being present. fingernails and toenails. And now let's gently shift from nails to teeth. So bringing awareness into the mouth. The color of teeth are white or yellowed. There's various shapes, including incisors, canines, premolars, and molars. The direction teeth are found above the waist, located in the mouth, and bordered in the gums, and of course the internal part of the mouth. Teeth are 32 bony, calcified projections in the jaws that serve as the organs of chewing food. Every individual has 2 complete sets of teeth during life. The first set of teeth are called primary teeth. They are lost around the age of 14, and then they're replaced by permanent teeth. There are 20 primary teeth and 32 permanent teeth. Function of teeth is to break down food, to cut, chew, tear, grind like a pestle and mortar. The bottom teeth are used more for the grinding of food, and the top front teeth are mainly used for biting. So bringing awareness into the mouth, into the teeth. And just sensing in teeth. It may bring up memories, dentist appointments, whatever, our stories, our life, the personal, the impersonal, just teeth, these 32 bony, calcified projections in the jaws that serve as the organs for chewing. Teeth, whatever is present, physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever gets evoked. being mindful of teeth. Of course, there's a lot in our society about good-looking teeth and what that may look like. Just teeth being present. And so gently making a transition from the teeth to skin. The color of skin can be black, brown, yellowish, reddish, whitish. Its shape is like a big bag of grain that takes the shape of whatever's inside it. The skin is the largest organ in a human being. It has a surface area of about 25 square feet. The direction, skin is found both above and below the waist, located all over the body, from face to feet to fingers, and bordered by head hair, body hair, nails, and teeth. The definition of skin: it's a soft outer cover organ that forms the outer surface of the body. A lot of very powerful factoids here. There's over 4 million pores in the skin. In 1 square inch of skin, this is 1 square inch, there lies 4 yards of nerve fibers, 1,300 nerve cells, 100 sweat glands, 3 million cells, and 3 yards of blood vessels. That's in 1 square inch. It's also that on every square inch of the human body there lives an average of 32 million bacteria. This is why actually there's a teaching in the Dharma called living with the many. So it's even understood a few thousand years ago that these organisms that live in the body. Humans shed about 600,000 particles of skin every hour. So looking at the calendar, looking at the clock, we've been here 1 hour. It's now 7:30, and there's 56 people. And so, getting out my calculator here, 56 people times 600,000 is 3,360,000 particles of skin we have collectively shed in the last hour. It's said that human beings shed about 1.5 pounds of skin a year. Most of the dust particles in your house are made of dead skin. The function of skin: it shields the body against infection, dehydration, injuries, parasites, and temperature changes. It provides sensory information about the environment. Skin manufactures vitamin D. It excretes salts in small amounts of urea. The skin acts as a water-resistant barrier, so essential nutrients aren't washed out of the body. And yet with this, here's all these just facts about the skin, and yet I think we have to acknowledge profoundly the thousands of years of suffering that has occurred because of skin color, race, privilege. When we look at it from a medical standpoint, the skin is this body that shields, it protects the body from infection, dehydration, injuries, parasites, temperature changes, provides sensory information, manufactures vitamin D, and so forth, a water-resistant barrier. My wife and I had the opportunity in 6-7 years ago to go to South Africa. We were teaching there. And we actually taught in a place that is called the Cradle of Humankind. It's outside of Johannesburg. And it said that most of us as hominoids, that many of us came from there originally. And this is a World Heritage Site. And we were greeted with this very large archway of the human genome that was very beautifully designed around this archway as you walked in. And it gave the story of the origin of human beings. And it said, it was very striking further in the exhibit, it said that actually when we look at human beings, we are 99.99% the same. But it's that one small fraction that has caused such profound suffering. Yes, also some grace. We have so much more alike than dislike. And it even explained about skin color. Those that actually stayed closer to the equator, their skin naturally, over time, darkened. Those that were further and further away from the skin color, colder environments remained more of a lighter tone. Yet all this over skin. And now here we are, we sit with the skin inside our own bodies. And whatever gets evoked, physically, mentally, emotionally, skin. So sensing into skin. Whatever comes up for you, skin. Skin. Is the impersonal part that just knows this is just what it does, what its functions. Yet the personal, the stories, the pain, so whatever comes up, skin. And just allowing and acknowledging whatever comes forth, physically, mentally, emotionally, memories, skin. As we come to the end of skin, just acknowledging all that has come forth, you've experienced. And also just acknowledging all of these parts, the skin, teeth, nails, body hair, head hair. That this body, this fathom-long body, there's a very poetic and beautiful quote from the Buddha that says that within this fathom-long body, with its thoughts and emotions, lies our world. Its origin, its cessation, its pathway to freedom is found within this fathom-long body. There's a beautiful quote from Martha Elliott that also speaks similarly of that our history is here inside our body. Our body is our storehouse of all of our learnings and thoughts and experiences, only waiting to be invited in. So help yourself and let the learning emerge and take shape. This wisdom of the body, appreciating this wisdom of the body. Our history is here inside the body. Our body is our storehouse. So as we come to an end of this practice, just acknowledging what you've experienced, how this has been for you, and that, of course, these parts that we just meditated upon are connected to all of the other parts. Of course, within the list of the 32 parts, but much more than the list, to all of the different parts and systems of the body. And that this body is the vehicle that we live inside of, and the pathway of growing greater wisdom and compassion. May there be mercy, may there be compassion, may there be wisdom and clear seeing into the body, perhaps breaking, dissolving some of these spells of enchantment. But honoring this body is the vehicle that we live inside of to grow, again, with greater wisdom and compassion. May there be mercy, may there be kindness, may there be compassion for ourselves and for all embodied beings. May all beings discover the gateways into their hearts to grow with greater wisdom and compassion. May all beings dwell with peace. Thank you very much. I'm going to put a pause to the recording.